Brother Brij Mohan, we had an earthquake, a political earthquake
Yes,
in the US this week. And so I think I want to start there
yes,
and get your help. Um, so the results of the US election have created a heaviness inside many people.
yes,
And some of our friends who are not Brahmins
yes.
are reaching out and they're asking for comfort and guidance. Now,
Right.
I tried to talk about things like the cycle, things like that. It doesn't work for them. They don't want to hear that this is the end of time or isn't it going to be great when we have a new age.
Mm.
So, what do we say to our friends who are frightened? I mean, for a lot of secular people,
Oh,
politics is their dharma, their association with a political party,
yes.
their dharma. So they're deeply shaken. So what should we tell them?
Well, election is one thing, but there are many, many things beyond one's control. We must appreciate that more and more things are getting beyond our control. For instance, un untimely death, okay, shock in the family, natural calamity, etc., etc. So those things which are not in our control, what we do in those situations to be stable and to understand and to absorb all the abnormalities. This election is also one of the things. You said a very deep association with one political party. Similarly, in our family also, we can have very deep association with one person. And supposing that person gets a very troublesome disease, fatal disease, doesn't even die, and we have to bear that situation. On the one hand, we want to do everything but the near and dear one, but we can't. So therefore, we should take it in our stride and then see that uh, under this situation, what best we can do, isn't it? Similar, otherwise, in political science, we were taught in our college, people get the government they deserve. That is a classical political statement in political science. People get the government they deserve. For example, in the deity kingdom, they get the king and queen they deserve. In the copper age also, they get the people, the king and queen that they deserve. And now come down to this Iron Age. Here also, all people in various names, various forms, they are getting rule of the people, for the people, by the people, etc., which is actually a reversal of what is called a rule, because power should, authority and should flow from top, top to bottom downwards. And you will know that there is experience and there is more expertise and more clarity of judgment in elite classes. But here it is the reverse. And now, many political parties, they depend upon capitalists, money people to be able to win election, we know. And then they have to pay back to them, although this is all dirty politics. What I am trying to say is things beyond my control, I, I have to be prepared for that. And here is where spiritual realization, awakening, and spiritual powers come into play. You will find in this whole world only those and those who have got spiritual awakening, understood unfathomable spiritual power, they can survive and be even happy under all conditions.
Okay. So the people, not everyone is sad, right? 65% of the country is happy. They think
Yes.
that Donald Trump is going to save the country.
Yeah.
But 45% of the country is sad. So I'm going to tell them,
Yeah.
look, this is like if your family member got sick, you need to
Yes.
prepare for this with spiritual practice and power.
Yeah.
This is going to happen more often. Do I tell them that they need to build a lifeboat and that we will help them build the lifeboat?
That's right. And moreover, after a person gets elected, to whichever party he may belong, then he has to look for the all his people, for the whole country. And he cannot be saying that now I have been elected, so I will pass all the rules and all the things favorable to my party people. That will not be allowed also because there will be opposition. So basically, first of all, this. Secondly, the attitude of optimism, that one should be optimistic in under all conditions. It is a matter of your own attitude. So है ना, it is said that your attitude determines your altitude. So we elevate ourselves, everything will be fine. Even in the physical world, at higher levels, there are hardly the obstacles which you find at the ground level or at the little higher level. That's the thing.
Okay, so I'm going to tell them, don't worry.
Be happy.
Be happy.
Yeah.
We're going to help you build that nice lifeboat to get through this. Keep your
Yes.
attitude up. Be optimistic. Not that politics are going to get better, but that you personally, you, the soul, will get better, right? That's what I'm
Yes.
going to tell them,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now, even in the Brahmin family, um, there is some funny things going on. Some Brahmins voted for Donald Trump. And they defend, one of them said, well, it'll bring destruction faster as a defense. So there's some Brahmins that are actually okay with what happened. Others are feeling like, uh-oh, this is what Baba told us was going to happen. Are we ready? Did we prepare enough? Remind me what it is we're supposed to do now that the oceans are rising and the state of Florida is, melting and all of that. What do we do in the Brahmin family to reinforce the strength of the Brahmin family to respond?
Well, you see, it depends upon the state of the being, according to which people look at the events, evaluate events, or they wish things should happen. Therefore, those who are saying that let the destruction be uh, earlier than it should happen and all those things, it is all their attitude. Tell me, if the word destruction were not there, won't a person die? And when a person leaves the body, for him it is complete destruction. You see? Therefore, one should understand that here in the Gyan, stress is not on your leaving the body at all. Because one can leave the body instantly, just at the fall of a hat, without the big destruction taking place. So, does a person want really that his life should be shortened and he should leave the body? When a person says, I am prepared for it, what preparation that person has made? The preparation is always for tomorrow, for the journey ahead. And therefore, without making any preparation, something that is beyond our control, my own leaving the body or the destruction, it is, forget the word destruction, destruction in my area. or in my country is enough for me. Even in my city is enough for me. Therefore, we should take it in the proper perspective. Many people think that the knowledge of Brahma Kumaris or God's knowledge is such that it should make people not to die. Mostly they think that it is a spiritual knowledge and it should make people, they should never die, and that is the aim of the spirituality. But it is not so. Of course, the aim is not to die, but is to identify oneself with the soul which is eternal, not that one should not leave the body.
Hey, yesterday, or was it yesterday or today, there's an aspect of the Aviak signal that we get from Rajubai that said, how do we mold it talked about molding ourselves to the time and the circumstances and the situation. So when the times are this degraded, uh, what does molding ourselves mean exactly? How do we mold ourselves to times that are this degraded?
Well, that is today's Murli itself, where Baba has described the meaning of tapasya and tyag. You know, there are three words, tyag, tapasya, and seva. Seva means service, and the intensity and the reality of service depends upon tyag and tapasya. So, while stating about tyag, Baba says that tyag means molding, the power to be able in rude words, tyag is called renunciation, but it means to say renouncing things voluntarily. But here it is in all situations, one should be able to mold. As they say, water takes any shape of the vessel you put it the water in. So water is so soft and has such molding power. Air also has such molding power. And you become more sort of physical and material, then your molding power reduces. Earth has minimum molding power, okay? Then water, then air, and fire also. They can go. So we have to see molding power means not being solid, not being able not to adjust. So that power means I have to, instead of striking against the wall or facing, confronting the situation, I have to be sensible enough to pass by the situations or pass over the situation. The answer is pass. To be able to pass, and pass all the situations, this is molding power. You know, many times we know that this person has this nature, and we feel so difficult. We say, no, 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 I won't talk to him. Please, you do so. Like that. Oh, who will talk to that person? He will react, and so on and so forth. So we should have the power to absorb, to adjust, to accommodate. That is called molding power, and it comes by experience. All of us have molding power over many situations, but still we will be finding difficult to have molding power, say, over my sanskar. I have a habit or an addiction. I can do anything in the world, but can't get rid of that habit or addiction. That is sticking on to me. So Baba says a real tyag means in all situations, whether they are from nature or from my nature or from other people. So that is what it means to say, to be able to accurately understand the drama and act as an actor. The actor never questions what the situation is coming. He knows it's a part of the drama. He has to face his, he may even leave his body, but he goes by the script. Similarly, we know the script. All the Brahmins are most fortunate that we only know the script. And still, depending upon our acting capacity, we are able to follow that script number wise.
Okay, so it's just like if a big bully treated me badly and I knew this was a bully and I knew they always act this way,
Yes,
I
yes.
shouldn't be surprised, right?
Uh,
I
uh.
should be flexible. I should accommodate the way they are. Um, I
I
should,
should say myself. First of all, there are two things. Our Aim is to save everyone, to help everyone, to benefit everyone. But as you in the plane, you say, before helping others, put your mask, your own mask, isn't it? That is the thing. First is my safety. I should not be affected or influenced. That is number one. Number two is then I should be able to influence. That is number two. That is a much higher capacity. One is state of purity, and the other is the state of being a purifier. You know, that is the difference.
Ah, that's good. Okay. Um,
Okay.
so,
Yes.
all right. I think that's pretty clear what you're saying. It's a subtle capacity. Okay. Let's move to some questions about personal dharana. So someone sent in the worthy of worship form is one of the five forms to experience when spinning the cycle of self-realization. What is that experience?
First of all, the questioner should contemplate and feel what all this knowledge and understanding and remaining in that state gives that person the experience. Basic thing is, there is something which is worthy, most precious, and something, even the remnant of that thing has some value. Normally, something is worthy, it is discarded, it becomes worthless. But here, you see, most precious thing, worthiest of the thing, most elevated and most respect-giving, honor-giving thing. If remnant of that also contains that element that makes you feel elevated before even you reach that stage which you might have lost. So therefore, Baba tells us that this is the cycle of the five stages which repeats by itself. And Baba says the proof of your elevated stage is that in this world no bodies are ever worshipped, physical bodies. People speak high of certain people, their performances, their character, their activities, but only and only in Bharat. There may be statues of people to show that they were there, but to worship that means that even after half the cycle has gone, they are even three-fourths of the cycle has gone. Even today, they are being worshipped. So how highly elevated they were. And now Baba says, we do not know that this is my statue or my murti, but our senior most people statues are there. So Baba says that even even looking at something very precious and valuable makes you happy. You may not be able to afford it, you may not be able to buy it. Many people go to the, exhibitions and art galleries and painting things and music concerts. They know it, they have just to see and listen. They can't even touch certain things in an exhibition. But they see, feel so happy because though the very sight of them and the very understanding about what they would have been really makes them happy. Say a diamond, it is excavated from somewhere and it is all covered by, carbon, etc. It is not visible. Somebody makes a cut in that and puts it there. That look, inside this whole black coal looking thing, there is hole of diamond. So by the very visualization of that gives one worth. So it is Baba has said that I elevate you souls to that extent that even your bodies, which are made not in that statues of your bodies, they are so much worshipped. And from the sight of those, by standing close to those, you will note that 3 days before there was a Murli, the worshippers cannot even touch those statues. because they are impure. See, so it gives you a feeling of elevation and a feeling of you uplifting. That is the idea.
Okay. So, Brother Brij Mohan, how do we bring our love to the stage of fire that burns sins?
Well, first of all, we should appreciate the power of love from a lower level. And Baba has said that love can melt mountains. Love is such a power, even in this physical world, that this is the only power, the most powerful power. People have left their thrones, their inheritances for the sake of love. And anything that one loves, one is ready to give one's life for that, because the most precious thing considered in the world is life. Life is the ultimate. Nobody will like to part his life for anything. Rather, they would like to part everything for their life's sake. But here, love is such a strong emotion that people don't mind. Say, even the terrorists, they are the people who blow themselves up. What, what emotion they have got? They are ready to get themselves blown up for a particular cause because they love that cause so deeply more than their life. So similarly, now in spirituality, Baba has told us, you are souls. Okay. And the soul, like the sun, has rays. It is not concentrated. Our mind is now filled with so many thoughts, so many segments, so many thoughts. It goes in so many directions uh, for so many reasons. You have to think of your health, you have to think of your happiness, your surroundings, this and that. So, like a single ray of the sun compared with the sun, it ray also works. But as you concentrate more and more, the power becomes more, isn't it? So when Baba says intense yoga, or what in India they call Jwalamukhi yoga. Jwalamukhi is a volcano in India. So volcanic yoga, with that means that my soul power is concentrated and then constantly concentrated and focused on something. So it is focused on Almighty God. And God says the only method to burn your past karmic account, negative karmic account, to raise that temperature. Everything melts at different temperatures. Everything has a melting point. So certain things are very hard melting points, high melting point. So highest melting point, when you are totally lost your body consciousness, you forget your body, you forget everything, and you are deeply concentrated, one will really feel that yes, I am light, that I am all my burdens are being shed or being burnt.
I think it's hard to tell someone how to bring your love to a certain stage, right? It's a feeling. So if the soul contemplates this object of its love, that fire would,
So the
right?
all the murlis have only one object. You will find day after day, year after year, repeatedly, what Baba have been telling us is me and me alone, God and God alone. Even in today's meaning of tapasya, the second word that was in the Vyakti he means only me. That keep in the front of your mind only Baba, Baba, and do other rest of the things will look unimportant. They will look just side scenes. So therefore, if we really can concentrate that everything that we require can easily, naturally we will get from Baba. Even in this world, Many people associate themselves with the high ups and the big ones. Why? They know that once we come under their umbrella, we will get all these facilities, isn't it? So therefore, Baba says that first of all, I am a soul. First point is, in this world, people think they depend upon physical and material things, physical relationships, something in the physical, good smell, good sound, and all those things, because they are working at the physical level. So they feel, mostly they get illusion that yes, Baba, but also these physical things. What is wrong with listening to good music or eating good food and all, having good? So we are having dual type of method of getting to the perfection. One is physical, and in physical also we become slowly selective. And the other is the spiritual. But Baba says, you are a soul. So more and more I start thinking I am a soul, then these physical things for which sustain me will become insignificant for me. Even the animal and birds, they do not bother where they will get their food for the day or where they will know where they will have, because they have a natural thinking that they have a life and they are leading it. They have never done a job for their bird, or they have never stored anything, water for themselves and all that. So they also have the natural tendency. Now the more and more we live, as Baba says, soul conscious life, so then it means actually all fulfillments and satisfactions are spiritual. They are not material, because it is the soul which has to get it. And the soul cannot even get a grain of rice inside it. It can only have the taste of that. So therefore, when slowly we reach that stage, we shed so many. People say, now you have no Lokik connections. We understand that was karmic account. Now you have no limited connection that I belong to the US only, or this is my specialty. You become universal. And you become universal, then you think, oh, all the skies and all the oceans belong to me. In many poets have written songs also for the poor people, that you are not poor. Look, all the stars belong to you, the whole of the ocean. Like that, momentarily they please them. That this actually also, these priceless things are everyone's property. So slowly we have, Baba says, uh, think that I can provide you. I am Supreme Soul. Not only provide you, but your container also I will purify, so that whatever I give you is yours, not for now, not for this birth, not for a century, but for half the cycle and even more.
Okay, so it's about faith that God's providing. It's about concentration. It's about understanding the power of love, right?
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to linger too long on this, but the person who sent in this question about worthy of worship forms doesn't feel answered. So he says it's more about my experience of that form when I spin the cycle, not what worshipers feel in front of the idol. So he's saying, how do I have that experience of the worthy of worship form? Now, you were saying that even the remnant of the worthy of worship form should give that experience. So you're saying that for the person spinning as well, right? I should have the memory or the remnant of what it was like to be in that stage, right? Do you want to say anything further before we
I
move on?
want to add, that in a society, say four types of people live: the richest, the rich, then the near rich, and the poor. Okay. Now each one will be happy with what they really require. Okay. So when you are in copper age, you cannot, even if you are shown a real deity of the golden age, that deity will be misfit. You cannot have relationship with that deity. You cannot converse. His language, everything is different. So at that time, there is a second shop. There are many shops, they sell seconds material with some defect but overall good. So therefore, these statues also, the murtis also, they were the best in the copper age. Slowly, the material from which those are made, the elements, they go on deteriorating. So it fit even a remnant is luck and fortune for a person in his own time.
Okay, I think that's going to have to suffice. Um, so, Brother Brij Mohan, we had a recent Merle in which Baba talked about going beyond the limited and the unlimited. What are examples of that? What does that in practical, as Baba says? What's the experience going beyond the limited and the unlimited?
Well, Baba has taken us to the widest limits of understanding different regions and the geography which we can make use of. So normally people will think that my limited knowledge of my globe and this is limited, and if I go into space it becomes unlimited, and beyond that I cannot go because I have no fuel or no method of reaching, so it is beyond limited. This is a normal thinking. But Baba has told us about the growth, the evolution in this. Baba says that the soul has got sanskars of everything, and the soul should know it's the drama in which it's playing its part. So Baba tells us that you souls, when you come in this drama in the beginning, you are few in numbers, and there is more of plenty of everything, and this is called limited. And there is golden age, there is plenty, abundance, everything, world is paradise. Slowly and slowly, the growth takes place. So growth takes place, and finally there is complete growth. That Baba says, uh, numerous, unlimited number of souls. Earlier you could identify this is one deity religion, even that was not called a religion. Then there were two, now there are innumerable. Even if you want to list the number of religions and sects, you will have a big book and you will get confused. Even that the big and the small will also be obliterated. So therefore, Baba has said limited and unlimited in terms of history of this world. That is to say, ultimate growth. Okay. And then Baba says, going beyond that, that is geography. Now the souls come from the soul world, and that also is beyond the sun and stars of this particular universe. So Baba says, I take you beyond that, because if we know the regions, that this region is a region of peace and silence. This region is a region of joy and happiness. And this region is a region of sorrow and suffering. Then we will not indulge or venture to try to get happiness out of sorrow. So we will be mentally thinking of that region while we are here. We will be mentally thinking of that region where we can have real peace and silence or real happiness. So that is what Baba tells us. A person may go to a country which is very prosperous, very good for 7 days. So for 7 days he is feeling like that. But behind his mind is hanging, on the eighth day I will be back to my wretched country where I get out of plane and start getting foul smell. Of course, he gets absorbed that in 2 days, he gets used to that again.
Okay, it's sort of an aspect of really understanding the drama
Yes.
deeply so that your expectations and your connection
Understanding and using it to good effect.
and applying the drama.
If we are in this world thinking of these words only, its past and future, etc., you cannot have peace. It's a word of action. So you have, just as you have a dream, so similarly detach yourself and to the region for what you want.
Okay, now I've got a question here. The BK family is dancing in the joy of knowing that the golden age is happening now, but I think, I don't think this person means now, but in other words, that the golden age is coming. But we are still living in the old world atmosphere, which is very dark and heavy. Maya is very strong at this time. Maya causes us to think wrong thoughts, and we want to step away from this godly life. How can we help each other stay close to Baba when Maya attacks? I think this includes things like a serious physical illness, an extended period of confinement in the home, um, bad fortune or difficult things happening to someone very close to me, a kind of exhaustion from which was I really strong enough for this? This is really, let me move back to my regular life. This is too much. I don't have what it takes. That kind of Maya. How do we help each other when we see someone close to us is going through that? What do we do?
Well, we have to remind ourselves of the drama, its accuracy, and its repetition. Because when we forget that we are an actor in the drama, then we start thinking that this is my near and dear one, and this one is suffering, it is having effect on me, this one has lost his job, this one is languishing in the jail, and so on and so forth. In a drama, the actor knows that as is my role, I have to play my role, and someone may be my child, and I have to part with my child as per the drama plot. So I should not, but you say near and dear one, this and that. An actor is an actor. He says all this is my role only. I am a different being. Here also, although we are playing our roles, and we are put into difficult situation, miserable situation physically, but the soul, am the actor. The actor always knows that he is a different personality, he has a different home, he has a different family, and this is his role only, whatever he is playing.
So if I am, so that's
Again
what,
and again and again remind myself that an actor never gets attached. Even a traveler, co-traveler never gets attached to the co-traveler. So it's a journey, and it is sure that some people will join me and some people will part from me. One day I will also part from them. So if I keep that attitude of detachment, then I can play my role better. Even the people say that medical doctors, they are not allowed to operate on their own son because there will be feeling of attachment and they may put the scissor in the wrong way. So they give to another one so that the fellow can operate with a detached mind. So attachment is a very big thing which causes all these feelings of sorrow, suffering, sympathy, etc.
okay, now, Brother Brij Mohan, in your Brahmin life, have you ever had another Brahmin who was struggling and began to lose faith, began to feel they don't belong on this path? Have you ever had a friend like that?
So many.
So what did you do when they said, I just don't think I can do it, it's too hard, I think I'm not up to it, let me just step back? What did you say?
Just as in a hospital, there are different types of patients with serious, with average, and with small ailments. What does a doctor do? He gives them the required medicine. He knows even that this serious patient is not going to survive, but still he will give him consolation and say, he will give him hope and all that. Similarly, we come across every day almost with our brothers and sister souls, and they are in different stages of their life. And looking at them, and as per my own capacity of understanding them, I try to help them in their own way, because if you give a strong dose to a weak person, that also goes wrong. In their own way, very light way, coming to their level, they do this, take this next step. Now it is up to them. Some of them do it. Some of them they try to do, but old sanskara overpowers them. And Baba has said, in this Brahman family, it is the kings and others and subjects and royal families for two yugas, golden and silver age, being created here. So we know this situation also. It's such a hospital. And therefore, and finally, everyone has to leave this particular Sangam role and go into their next role. So we have a limited part. We basic thing is sympathy. A few days back also Baba says that your mind and intellect should have the sympathy factor, the helping factor, but all the same, you have to be detached and neutral so that you don't get affected, and only when you don't get affected you affect. And in the subtle way, this is what Baba has, it boils down to: always have good wishes and good feelings for yourself and others, so at least your atmosphere will be good enough and be of help to someone. If I also start thinking this fellow did this wrong and so he is suffering, then I am only looking at the cause, not the cure. Most people today think, look at this brother and sister. I found them that they went the wrong way, they did this and that, and now they are in this situation. When this comes in my mind, then I am not instantly able to help them
Okay. All right. So remain compassionate,
and
have
detached.
have sympathy, be detached, but help them take the next step.
Yes.
Help them with the next step. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to skip down to one that is maybe going to sound a little funny to you, but in the West it's real. And it's called Brahmins Celebrating Hindu Holidays. At many centers around the world, there is a strong presence of the Indian/Hindu culture. It shows up in things like food and music played at the center, but it's especially noticeable in the celebration of Hindu holidays, Rakhi, Dussehra, Diwali, Janmashtami, etc. Since these holidays are an aspect of bhakti, to what degree should we be celebrating these holidays? I have three questions connected here. So one is, to what degree, since it's bhakti, to what degree should we be celebrating these holidays? Second, to what degree should we be celebrating other religious bhakti holidays, such as Christmas? And what did Baba do?
First of all, Baba says one should bring oneself to the state of Brahmin culture and not any other culture. Such questions are raised when we forget that we belong to a large Brahmin global family, and there is a common Brahmin culture which does not talk of Hindu, another, or even atheist. Brahmin culture is all inclusive. Okay. Number two, if we start taking like that, the entire Gyan of Baba is based on the so-called Hindu culture. So one will get quickly prejudiced. Baba says golden age will be only in India. Baba says Lakshmi Narayan will only be India. Baba says all others will be excluded. They never see even the face of so on and so forth. So if one has to rise above all this and be look from a spiritual angle, then one would understand that all these Hindu festivals of bhakti which are celebrated, they are the degraded form of the original happenings which took place at the confluence age. So so Baba tells us the understanding of the real under spiritual significance of each festival and asks us to celebrate. Now what happens if you start looking at the real celebration significance, your celebration will look like very simple and without any interest. So bhakti form is added to it. You know, to make it look like a mixture, that we are having a mix of what is being celebrated today while understanding what actually it represented. So all Indian festivals are related, religious festivals are related to spiritual happenings at the confluence. Baba always says, when to double foreigners, you see, go to Dilwala, do you think this is your own statue or somebody else's statue? To make us realize that today we are double foreigner, today the world is divided, but there was a time when the whole world was one, and one culture and one spirituality prevailed. That is number one. So therefore, we do celebrate, but there is definitely, I agree, if a very highly elevated Brahmin of Indian origin will celebrate it, he will do it in a very subtle way. For example, Holi. In Holi, people throw colors at each other, and then there used to be good colors, but later on it degraded. They started throwing coal tar, etc., and others. Then Baba says in Madhuban, what they did not have color in that water. They had scent in that water, uh, a sense in. So that was thrown at each other. So the clothes are also not spoiled, and the feeling is also there that we are meeting with one another. And I also found that earlier times, in earlier years, when a day holiday, such festival will come, Baba, just to please the children, will do something little bit. Slowly and slowly, Baba got disinterested in that, and Baba will just say with the disinterest, okay, child, you do it, reduce it to the minimum. Just as in the Murlis, there used to be full film songs, of course, devotional, sung before the Murli. Later on, Baba reduced them to only one line, and after that, even got it removed. So, to bring us up out of from our this physical and ritualistic years and years, centuries of our sanskar, Baba slowly gets us out of this. So there is nothing to be worried and all that. Even Christmas also, whenever there are foreigners in Madhuban, Baba celebrated Christmas also with as much vigor. In fact, Baba's turn was kept specially from for Christmas and New Year Day. You know, Baba's coming turn was specially kept in the program for that. So here we don't distinguish. We even celebrate Eid, everything, but all with spiritual significance.
Okay, so in order to make the children happy, because they like their holidays, we do celebrate, and we do celebrate all of them, but it's at a lesser level of splendor, and you're focusing on what's going on inside the
In
inner being, right?
in, in India itself, all the official holidays include celebrations of each religion. Even there is a Sikh celebration, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jain, etc.
Okay, so we shouldn't be alarmed about feeding Krishna butter and things, right? Okay. Next question. Do we really eat a sattvic diet? We say that the Brahmin diet is a sattvic diet, but many Brahmins eat very spicy food. Most drink some kind of caffeine drink, such as chai or coffee. Are we breaking Srimad when we eat and drink in this way? What did Baba do?
And very briefly, I would say the questioner should confine himself or herself to sattvic diet. In
Okay.
whatever they think of that, there are very many standards of sattvic diet. Sattvic diet will only be available in the golden age, and here, to the best of one's ability, one does. For example, tea. Tea no, has caffeine, but Baba said for serving the whole of the Yagya people, there was not enough money. So Baba allowed tea to be used in place of milk. So there can be many, many reasons for that. And Baba says that to the best of your ability, supposing you are in military, you go to another country and all that, to have your sattvic diet, and where you feel there is something violating, you have to have intense yoga before taking that diet under compulsory condition. But one should confine to oneself, otherwise one will start saying as a class, all the BKs are not taking sattvic diet, so they are violating the rule. I think I should confine to myself. Each person has got their own standard of strictness and control. And there are people, I myself have cooked food for 3 years while I was doing job and also running the center, because I appreciated the importance of sattvic diet. There are others, they say, okay, let me have from someone and I will sit in yoga and purify it. Baba says, if you could do it, then you do it. If under very compulsory condition, different methods are told.
Okay.
Even a doctor, for instance, does not give pure and strong medicine to all patients. Looking at their capacity, it dilutes. Even a mother does not give strong milk to the child, it dilutes it. So similarly, for the child, diluted milk is pure milk.
Okay, so we should just focus on our own diet to the
Yes.
degree we can manage. We should eat a completely sattvic diet. But
Yes.
again, Baba's love for the children, if they have a little chai, if they have a little coffee, give it tons of drishti, and then go ahead. Moving towards the aim of a sattvic diet, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Now we have some questions under the category of how does this work? One of them is from the Copper Age onward, souls go in front of idols.
Yes.
This is a little similar to that earlier question, made as our memorial and receive love and support. How does this happen? What is our consciousness or our state of being at that time that allows us to receive love and support from those idols?
You see, it is deeply ingrained sanskar that they are our ancestors. Forget the ideals in a house, in a family. Say, there are pictures of grandfather, father, present family, small children. And when you look at those, you do have the inspiration and feeling, oh, this was my grandfather. His turban will be different, his dress will be different, totally belonging to a different age. But I will appreciate that he laid the foundation of what my family is today. Even if you go to a political gallery and there are pictures of all the presidents of the United States, a person will see and he will feel, oh, this was Abraham Lincoln, this was Washington, and so on and so forth. So they get inspiration from them because they get in their memory a recollection of what they did, what were their specialty. Similarly, here also, if there were only souls, there are in India many temples which has got Shiva as a soul and all other great souls as also souls in the soul form. People go there, worship also, but very few people appreciate that in this soul form it is the supreme soul, and around there are the souls only, because souls cannot be identified. I have seen one such temple where they were bathed with a hose pipe every morning. They will put lot of water on those Shiva small stones and think shower has been given. But when you get a physical form, and physical forms of the deities are many. Some are in female, virgin female form, some are in children form, some are in couples, and depending upon. And there is a history behind him, there is a folklore behind that, passing on from generation to generation. So when one goes to there, first of all, they don't come to you, the worshipper goes to them. it means worshipper has got a feeling of devotion, love, respect, affection for them. That is, they only go there. And in India, there are different idols and deities and gods for different people. Say, preferably go to their temples only. Now they get inspiration by knowing about that they were our ancestors, what we are today, what our way of lifestyle is today is due to them. In India, many people abstain from so many things. Some people have a sattvic diet. Some people start the day with some sort of worship or prayer. Most people take a shower before going to a temple inside their house. So the various rituals are there. So those give them some temporary inspiration. And because it is short-lived and temporary, though go again and again and again.
Okay, I like this point that the deity idol doesn't come to you. We don't ever open our door and there's the idol standing on
And,
our.
and another subtle thing is they go to look at the deities, but when they go in front of them, they close their eyes.
That's interesting. Hmm. That is interesting.
Because they are not seeing at their present instant form, they are recollecting in their mind their entire history.
So
So
it's
that,
about memory. Yeah,
yes,
that's nice. Okay. All right, here's one. This is still under the category, how does this work? From the Sakar Murli, Brahmins and deities meet one another in the subtle region when Bhog is carried there.
yes.
Brahmins go there, deities go there, and a meeting takes place. Can Dada elaborate on this?
Well, this is past history. It belongs to Sakar Murli. At that time in the subtle region, only Brahman, the one who goes in trance, they will go, and then at that time, Baba will emerge the deities. It no longer holds valid today. There are plenty of advanced party Brahmins there, and there are plenty of relating to the present times. So therefore, it is past history. That is why it was in Sakar Murli, and now it is not relevant.
Okay. So you're saying when Shashi Ben goes, she doesn't experience
That is.
Brahmins and deities meeting one another.
No.
Okay.
In fact, the advanced party people also come in their Sangam Yugi form in the subtle region so that we can recognize each other and they don't come in their present form. What to speak of deities?
Okay. That's still pretty mysterious. We may hear back from that person again, but let's see. All right.
You say, why should a deity of the golden age who does not know at all about the past of the confluence age, doesn't know about the future, why should a deity in the deity form appear in the subtle region and get confused?
Good question. Okay. All right. Final one in the category of how does this work? So Baba says, if you remember me, the burden of sins will be removed.
Yes.
So how does this really work? If I remember Dadi Prakashmani while being soul conscious and focus on my memory of Dadi, how is that different from sitting in meditation and visualizing a point of light?
Yes.
In what way are the feelings of remembering Baba different from remembering Dadi Prakashmani? What is the spiritual technology? Are we having blind faith? Even in the way this question is worded, I think I know where you're going to go, but you've got the question, right?
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, an apple cannot reproduce an apple. Apple can look at an apple and appreciate, and both the apples know that they grew from the seed. Number one. A brother cannot give an inheritance to a brother, only the father gives the inheritance. So, therefore, whosoever you remember, you will get what they had. Is it? You can't get more than that from any of them. Then when Baba says, I am seed, of humanity. A seed can produce all the apples on the tree, isn't it? But no apple can produce an apple. So Dadi Prakash Mani can be taken as a very nice apple, right, apple on the tree. And myself may be a small growing apple on the tree. If I look at the bigger apple, I am not going to get anything. In short, there is something called pure and something called purifier. So a pure one looking at a pure one can just appreciate, but he cannot be purified. So purification will come from God Shiva. Purification means burning of the past debit accounts. So this is how it works. So if you look at any Dadi, look at Dadi Janki, okay? You will have all the feelings about how she was active and all that and flew all over the world. Okay, if you look at Prakash Mani, they will, but they are only sort of, we can say, branches or even fruits on different branches. They are to be appreciated in their own way. They are our seniors and ancestors. They are earlier generation. But seed is seed. So Baba goes one step further. Baba says, I am purifier and I make you also as master purifiers. If you go deep into it, then you will forget about Prakash Mani Dadi. You will start thinking Baba made Prakash Mani Dadi master purifier. That is, we appreciate. I am being purified. But Dadi Prakash Mani not only purified herself, but Baba made her master purifier because she connected the souls with the purifier. Okay, so this is how it works. But all of us, if we, the seed contains all the energy, everything in a sense. So if we connect with the seed, the Almighty, the seed of human tree, then we will get purified and also maybe we reach a stage of perfection, we become master purifiers.
Mhm. Um, so let me just ask a little follow-up question. So the soul is light, and in an earlier conversation we had, we talked about how when a soul becomes ill in some way, especially a mental illness, the question came, isn't a mental illness, I mean, of course, medicine is given, but isn't a mental illness still a spiritual illness? And you said yes. So illnesses are, they have a physical expression, but they're spiritual in at the root, right? So,
All illnesses and all well-being is spiritual.
right, okay. So that means when the soul becomes impure, and since we're light, is it fair to say that an impurity in the soul is some kind of blockage of the light, some kind of shadow, some kind of dark place in the soul that is causing this sickness or imperfection or whatever? Is that fair to say? That
Definitely, because in the soul world, all souls are pure light. They do
okay?
have their roles, but they are all pure roles there. Pure
Oh,
intellect, pure mind, everything, because either they purified through yoga or through punishment, but only just as in your cupboard, you have all the washed clothes and they which have come from the washerman. Okay. Now, when we come down in this world, eh, for half the time we remain pure. Although we are in the bodies, all are pure, are interacting with pure. So it is not just in one day it starts getting that darkness or illness. So there is no illness or anything of that sort up to the copper age.
okay.
Okay? And
So, well,
even they are active.
so I want to ask you a question. So, in terms of the spiritual technology, so here
Yes,
is the perfect light,
yes,
full of all virtues, and
yes.
here's the imperfect light with little dark places all through it because it's made all these mistakes and blockages. So, the imperfect light connects with the perfect light, And the rays of this perfect light somehow seem to dissolve or clear up some tangles in the imperfect light. Is that what's going on? Is that the spiritual
Make,
technology?
make it more subtle. Now, Baba says the first cause of beginning of impurity is body consciousness. So long as a soul takes a body, but understand that I am a soul using this body, no problem. Because at the seat of driving seat is the soul. But because people are, there is a third eye, divine eye, and there are these two eyes. So that divine eye is functioning from inside. But after long usage, for long time remaining in the bodies, half the time, even they are in the body, they know the soul is running the whole thing. But after half the time, just as an illiterate person looks at a fan and thinks that the fan is moving, the bulb is lighting, he has no knowledge that there should be electric power behind it. So slowly, a time comes when soul mixes up with the body. And the first act that they do is lust. As soon as first time, the soul uses the body because it forgets the body, it starts getting all the physical attractions, taste, touch, etc., sound, sight. So as soon as it commits first act of body consciousness, that is lust, then it gets trapped into the body. And now hereafter, it develops anger, greed, attachment, egoids, and then their intensity grows to the extent that a day comes when they only think they are bodies. So it is reflected in the soul in the form of losing the brightness. Losing the brightness even takes place from golden age to silver age, little bit of shine. But getting a dark hue, it starts from the copper age. And then today, all these souls are blackened, so to say.
Okay, so when we think of the spiritual technology, we can't know exactly, but the Supreme Soul is radiating rays of light and purity into the soul, right?
No, Supreme Soul is the only one who doesn't take body at all, whether
Right,
pure
right.
body.
Yeah,
So it
right,
remains in soul form. So that soul only has the capacity to bring other souls out of the body consciousness.
right. And
So
what's the way
that
that that
Supreme
happens?
Soul, Supreme Soul teaches us that here you are in mess, you have to come out, you do this. So he doesn't just give that light to us automatically. He tells us the path. So we souls, we to the extent we connect that, we withdraw from the body consciousness, then we get that power.
Okay,
We we get that power, we seek that power.
so part of it is what the Gyan. He
Yeah,
tells us what to do.
yeah.
Withdraw from the body, consider yourself to be a soul, connect with me. So let's say I'm a really good student. I did all of that. I withdrew, I detached, I considered myself to be a little point of light. I'm locked in remembrance of him. Is it then the currents of purity that untangle the past?
Yes, you see, most important thing is focus. Focus. If you want to heat up something, you have to give constant heat to that. If you sometimes you give heat, then you withdraw the heat, then that becomes more difficult. So what happens that we souls are used to considering ourselves to be body and start looking through the eyes, listening through the ears and so on. So Baba says you be in constant and concentrated remembrance of me. Then we get that. But to reach that stage, it takes long time for many because the souls are used to distractions. They will start using their eyes, looking at the sides. In other words, taking other aids to live on, carry on. So if Baba says if you are concentrated completely, now example is Mateshwari, mother. The mother made herself perfect in the shortest time. How and why? She is an example. She became Sri Lakshmi. She reached that highest stage in the shortest time. How? She was in the body. She had the family to take care of, all those things. But her concentration was deep, and other things were by the way, and her main thing was she was always concentrated. If you look at any picture of Mateshwari carefully, her eyes will be open, but they will be looking upward if you watch it constantly and full faith. Some people lose faith also. Maybe I am going doing as the questioner is asking, you know.
Okay, very good. That's very, very rich and good. Okay, I want to ask for a clarification on Gyan, and if I have time, I'm going to go back to another question. So, in yesterday's Murli, Baba said tiny souls are filled with whole parts, and those parts are played here. He also said each soul has an imperishable part. So, the question, what is Baba referring to when he speaks of us as having whole parts versus an imperishable part?
No, this is only misunderstanding of the two situations. It only one confirms the other only. It says the souls have eternal part, okay? But they don't play their part in the soul world. So they come down and they play their part. And that part is already contained in the soul. But after that they return, but they return with their complete part inside. This is very natural. Every seed has a plant to grow, a crop to grow, isn't it? If seed remains the seed, its qualities and properties remain in the seed. So Baba says this part is in the soul, the seed. This world is the action place. So when souls comes here, it takes body, it starts acting, okay? And the part that was filled in it starts getting the role started playing, okay? As we know, from golden age onward, it keeps on playing. But then Baba says it does not mean that everything, all its role, it leaves here. No, the seed contains the entire thing, even of a botanical tree. The seed brings out the whole big banyan tree, and even the trunk is lost, but the seed still contains the whole tree. So it produces the next tree again and again. So Baba has given us this deep understanding that souls are eternal. They do play their part here, full part here. They even dry, just as the tree dries in the Kaljugi part also. But still they contain that part eternally. So there is no contradiction. Both things are complementary to each other.
Okay,
Only I said that it can be repeated again and again.
okay. So, does every soul have a little mini cycle in it? So, for example, the Brahma Baba's soul has a full 84 birth cycle in it, living in it. And someone who comes at the very end has just light, 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 and then a little tiny part at the end is every soul. And if you put every soul's little cycles together, do you get the whole world?
Yes, yes, Baba says each soul has its own cycle, but whatever its role is complete in itself. It may be just two births only. Okay, take a divine father Buddha, so many births only, but that is its cycle, and it goes up and will stay there till its time of coming here comes. Just as in a tree, there are big branches, but they are not born in the beginning. When the tree has sufficiently grown, first branch will come up, then this branch itself will come like a tree. That is why in Christmas tree, we make the branch straight and look like a tree. It has no roots. to
Okay.
explain that tree. Huh?
Okay. All right. I've got a couple more. I think we have time for me to go back and pick up a couple more. Um, so one of them is from a from a an NC saying that increasingly a lot of instruments are sort of making up their own interpretation of Srimad. Let me get with my spiritual companion and go to a conference someplace, and um, uh, I don't need to really let the family know because after all, it's my life. And so they go and they do what they want to do, different versions of this. Um, so some of the NCs kind of have the original understanding of Srimat and notifying your senior where you're going and all that. Some of the instruments don't have that understanding. So when a surrendered instrument adopts and defends these alternative choices they make, what should the NC or the CC, whoever the senior is, what should they do to help the instrument understand that original Srimat, given how sensitive everybody is right now? Should they try to explain this is the way the yagya works? We always take these letters when we travel to another center, or we, let the senior know and discuss with them. Do they try to explain the original Srimat or not because of the sensitivity?
It means the questioner is feeling that they are not following the Shrimat. Okay, it's the basis of this. There will be many who will not be following the Shrimat. Otherwise, how the whole kingdom is formed? The people get surprised and raise questions when a senior one does that. So they think, though these senior are what example they will set. Basically, Shrimat is given to everyone, not once, not twice, but every day through the Murli. Okay? And everyone understands the Shrimat. If there are sanskars and there are inclinations of not following the Shrimat or following the Shrimat only to those things which are to our liking and not following those which are not to my liking and think that I am an effort maker, so there will be different scenes. Already they are getting Shrimat, they are reading the Murli even to others. So there is no use of making any rules for them, trying to guide them, or any senior doing anything. One should take it as a part of drama, have good feelings for them, and watch them play and learn the lesson that I should not be get caught into such a trap of violating the Shrimat. Other methods, no need, because every day there is a Murli which refreshes us totally and puts us on the track of Shrimat.
Okay. All right. So
You
number
know,
one, Bob.
I may tell you that the two dadis, there used to be two dadis always in the yajna. Now, if a dadi goes out to some city for some program, she will take leave of the other dadi that I am going to Bombay for 7 days. She will grant her the leave, although they are equal status. And supposing in Bombay, she has to overstay by a day or so, she will still call her at Mount Abu and seek that, look here, I am required to stay here for 1 day more. Okay, am I permitted to do that? That was the top of Shrimad, even the Dadis, they had used to follow. And also, every month there is a list given of the normal requirements, toiletries, etc. So both the dadis make those requirements, get signed by each other, and then give to the Jagya. Because Shrimat is most important. It is the Shrimat which takes you up in the ladder to your status and which can bring you down to your status. But if you try to tell someone you are not following Srimad, such a person will make 100 examples that so and so is also not following, so and so is not following, like that. They keep themselves under illusion. So if you want RC to say something, it will work the other way around. They will become more stubborn.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? It sounds like those original daddies had a lot more humility than many of us have today. All right, I want to ask you one kind of aspirational question, which is closely connected with what we just talked about. Brother Brij Mohan, what is an air quality soul, and what efforts would characterize an air quality soul?
Well, hair qualities are also different. Here to the first kingdom, the second kingdom, the eighth kingdom, and the 21st kingdom, and so on. But if you want a small answer, it is that such a soul will have a sense of belonging, that everything, every happening, entire yug is mine. Not only that, others also will have a feeling that this person is mine. No limitations, no differentiations, nothing at all, no barriers, no discrimination. So such a soul is hair quality soul who can appreciate that it is not your present assignment or your role or your status which matters. It is the deep that this is my family and this is Baba's family, and I have to look it and respect them and give them everything as Baba's family. Like Baba's hair, so it becomes the hair of the yajna. You have maybe given any assignment, say to wash the dishes. Okay. A hair quality soul will wash the dishes in that state of elevated state of consciousness that I am doing an important task of yajna. I am very lucky that others are not avoiding to do that. They think lecturing is better, but I appreciate this is Baba's yajna and this is soul.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful. Okay, so that was very rich today, Brother Brij Mohan. Thank you for making the time. Um, we
Thanks,
have
Baba.
Thank you, Baba. We have one more session next month, and that's the end of the 6 sessions that we promised. We haven't agreed on a date, but I'm hoping that Friday, December 13th might work for you. I'll have to check in with Roshan Bai and make sure.
Roshan Bhai, okay. Roshan Bhai is here, he says okay.
Great. Okay. So our final session will be Friday, December 13th. And again, people can send in any questions they want for you to answer. I love Brother Brij Mohan, and I know others do too, how close you stay to Srimad and to Baba's Murlis. I think it really helps as the world gets more complicated and more heavy. It's really nice to have a pure source of understanding.
Your president who has lost the election, she has said today that stars are more visible in darkness. So therefore, the darker the situation becomes, the more important we will feel about the knowledge Baba has given us.
It's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So would you lead us in 4 or 5 minutes of meditation?
Yes, yes. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Brother Brij.
I have cut it short. I was feeling that about those festivals celebration, I think those who are celebrating these festivals, those Hindus, they should make sure to take along the others who are there and explain to them what was the bhakti and what is the real significance, and make them join in those festivals. That is the missing part. Perhaps they are isolating themselves, and that is why they are also violating Brahman culture. Baba, every time a party comes to Baba from any part of the world, Baba will specially acknowledge the importance of that part of the world and that party. So it is very important to take them along with them. Then they will be all enjoying Christmas as much as they enjoy Diwali or any other festival. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. All right, everyone. Thank you for your company today. And we'll look forward to being with you in December. Om Shanti.